Welcome to Peiser Music. Is music a competition in your opinion? Is it a contest? That's not a very rare notion or feeling to have or thought to have. I know from my students, my colleagues, my family, my friends, my culture, a lot of people hold this thought that music is a kind of a contest. And it's not hard to understand why, because everywhere you look around in our culture, we have this kind of a competitive attitude and mindset toward the things we do. So, in this video, we will speak about why music is not a contest and not a competition, and it will be very beneficial for you if you are any kind of a musician, a creator, a songwriter, producer, singer, whatever. It's more beneficial, as you'll soon find out, to hold this new notion that music is not a competition and it's not a contest at all. But let's start by really understand where we get this notion from. So it's not hard to understand, right? We have those reality shows where you sing and they rank you and they compare you to other singers, sorry, or they do these reality shows of songs where they compare the songs that you wrote to different songs. And of course, that you also have the hits charts where they rank songs and they compare songs. So, all around, we treat music as a kind of a competition, like it's a kind of a sport where one team compares the other teams. And it's not only in the cultural area, but also in our schools system, in the Western world at least. If you've been a student in any kind of a in any kind of a music school, or even if not in a music school, you surely got this feeling that you are in a competitive environment. They rank you by your grades, by your achievements. So it's true in musical schools and also in regular schools when you're just learning English and physics and so on. So we have this notion that also when we are playing, when we are writing songs, when we are singing, we are competing, we have to be the best, we have to be better than some someone, our friend, our colleague, someone that we've just heard on YouTube or on the radio. Of course, that YouTube is another kind of competition on views and so on. Okay, but why is it a false notion? So that's where it gets more interesting and more important, in my opinion. So it's a false notion if you dig a little deeper and understand what music is really about. And that's what we're doing here a little bit. So, music is really about feelings and emotions. It's not about winners and losers. Music always, and it doesn't matter if it's a really famous, great artist or only a beginner that doing it for his hobby, it always starts from within, from our own feelings and emotions, and this urge to say something to the world and to have any kind of expression, an artistic, creative expression, musical sound expression in a way. It's always start from this point. It doesn't start from the point that you want to be the best and you want to show everyone that you can sing the highest note. It doesn't start from those areas. You can think about your musical background, however, whatever it is, if it's few months or few years or decades, and remember where it starts from. If you were a child or if you were an adult, in most cases it starts from some kind of an urge to express yourself, to express your feelings. It's not starting from you wanting to be the best in the world, to be number one in the world. So that's one thing. And if you remember that that's really the root of the music, that's the core of the music, the expression of feelings and emotion, you understand that it's not a contest at all. It's something super private. It's something super of your own. It doesn't relate and it doesn't connect to anyone else in the world in that sense, because your feelings and emotions are your own. Also, music is about fun. It's not about impressing. And it's not about trying to conquer. And again, it's going to the place of if you expressing your emotions, because that's a part of the fun in music, that you can express yourself and your feeling. And if you're doing it with friends, let's say in a group, in a band, or if you are co-creating something, you have this connection. This feeling of connection is a really fun feeling. And if you did any kind of a creative work, not necessarily musical work, but a creative work with someone, you surely know this feeling. That's a fun feeling that you are creating something together. And when you're doing it by yourself, that's also fun, because we are creatures that loves to create. That's the root of the word, right? We are creatures who create. So that's fun. When we express ourselves, it's fun. And that's where music starts from this love of fun. So if you can remember those reasons, you remind yourself that music is not really a contest. Yeah, in the cultural aspect, it may look like a contest. If you are all the day hooked to the American Idol or something, you really start to think on music as a contest. And I know it from my own experience. I was a very competitive musician for a long period of time. But when you're disconnect from those areas, let's say from American Idol, and you start to remember where it's all really started from, where it all comes from, you're getting back in touch with what music is really about, and you remember that it's not really a contest. That's something only in the cultural aspect. It looks like this. Now, why is it hurts me as a musician when I'm holding this notion that music is a contest? So, in my experience, and maybe you can think and remember from your own experience as well, when you hold music as a competition area, that actually blocks your inspiration and flow. You feel stuck. You feel nervous when you think of it as a competition, because you are in this nervous kind of mindset. You have to be better. You have to be better. And it actually ruins the fun in a way. And when there is no fun, there is no inspiration, and there is no flow in your work. So if you are in this kind of a jealous, competitive mindset, that actually blocks your inspiration, that's not very beneficial. There is a kind of a friendly competition. Yes, indeed, there is this kind of a competition that actually helps you. And I love the example of Paul McCartney and John Lennon, which they are speak about in a lot of interviews that I've heard and read, where they speak about this thing that when one of them was writing a really good song, the other one was trying to compete him, but in a friendly way, and would try to write a better song, and then John would write a song and Paul would write a song, and then you got the Beatles, right? One of the most amazing bands in all times. So that's the kind of friendly competition that takes you on in a good way, in a creative good way. But a lot of the time, the competition is a more kind of a jealousy competition, and we'll speak about it in a minute. So it hurts us because it makes us nervous and it blocks our inspiration. It also makes me very judgmental when I'm competitive. Judgmental toward myself, toward what I'm doing, again, blocking my inspiration, and toward my colleagues and my friends. I hear someone and I think, that's crap, that's not good, or he's not really talented, that's not very good, right? That blocks me and makes me very judgmental. And that's less fun to be in this mindset where you are judging all the time. Also, that puts me in a kind of a search for formulas. So when I'm very competitive, I want to be, that's funny because that's kind of counterintuitive thing, but when I'm very competitive, I'm actually trying to be like everyone else. And I'm looking what everyone else is doing. Let's say I want to write a song for the hit charts. So I'm looking I'm hearing what everyone else is doing, and I'm trying to imitate them in a way because I want to compete them. But when I'm imitate them, I'm actually end up being doing something which is not very original, not very interesting mostly, right? And that's because just because I'm searching for someone that works because I want to compete with something very specific, let's say a song in the hits charts. So that doesn't really beneficial in this area as well. So a good and friendly competition, as we said, It exists and it can happen, but in my experience, it's more rare to find this kind of competition in our society and in our musical culture, because mostly it's a more kind of this jealousy competition. But how can you really tell the difference between a friendly competition and a jealousy competition? So there is a really simple way to know the difference, and it's it goes like this. You just have to notice what you feel about this situation. And it's really easy to know the difference between when you're feeling this kind of a jealousy feeling and when you're feeling this kind of a friendly, encouraging feeling. That's a completely different feeling. And if you're becoming more sensitive to your feelings toward this moment, this musical, artistic situation, let's say, you can really clearly know and find when you are in each side of those competitions. So a small hint will be that the more kind of a jealousy competition feels more itchy, it feels uncomfortable, it feels judgmental, it feels you are criticizing. That's the more kind of a judgmental competition. And the more kind of friendly competition, you find yourself feeling more happy, more creative, more inspired, um, more enthusiastic. Okay, that's a completely different feeling, and that's a different kind of competition, and different kind of results as well for your creative endeavor. Because when you are in the friendly areas of competitions, you are creating something better and you're more enthusiastic and you're more happy and it's more fun. And when you're in this kind of an itchy, judgmental kind of competition, you're more likely to don't get that good of a work when you're finished. It would be more kind of an something that you already did or something that you've already heard, not very original. You want to be very satisfied and so on. So it's okay if you think of yourself most likely in the more kind of a jealousy competition. Again, I know it from my own experience that that's the place I were for a long period of time, in the more kind of judgmental. I must do it because I want to be better and I want to be the best and so on. But you can slowly start to monitor how you feel in this competitive situation, and try to tilt yourself gently in this more kind of a friendly competition. And you can do it with anyone. You can do it with your friend from school or your colleagues, or with a song that you've heard on the radio. You can do it very easily by, there is a very simple way to do it. You can do it by just appreciate something in this song or artist that you have just heard. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a fan of this guy or this song, but find something small that you appreciate and focus on it. Let's say you hear a song from a genre that you're completely not a fan of. Let's say I'm hearing a metal song, a death metal song. I'm not into it at all. And I won't be judgmental and would say, that's crap, I can't stand it, and so on. Maybe I won't listen to it anymore, but if it came up on the radio, if I want to make it into a friendly competition, maybe I would say, I'm not really interested in this genre, but I can appreciate the production, the musical production. That sounds very neat, very tight. And the speed they're playing so fast. So that's something I can appreciate. And then I'm moving into this kind of a friendly competition area. And that's something to practice. That's actually something to practice. And you can do it. And you feel yourself tilting into this more kind of a friendly competition area. And then you'll understand that music is really not a contest. You can already understand it if you got this far in this video. So that's it. That was my little two cents about why music is not a contest. And of course, that there isn't a real border between the jealousy competition and the friendly competition, but also there is a border, and you can know the difference when you are in each side of this competition. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for my channel for more videos. Leave a comment. I'm curious to hear what you think about this topic, and we'll meet again soon. Thanks you.